Now, for this demonstration, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how you can make this one. So we're using the fairy, creating the silhouette with our black ink. And then what we're going to do is go over the back there with your sparkle inks. However, you can see we've got a bit of the green tinge on that one there. This is where we're going to mix two of the colours. So that's going to give you an additional colour when it comes to the sparkle inks. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take one of the watercoloured cards. Now this is just one of the blank ones, so there's no resist design on this one. So I'm just going to pop that there ready to go. Then I've got my fairies just here. So what I'm going to do is take the backing off. So I'm going to use one of them. And then what I'm just going to do, you can use your stamping platforms or you can use your rocker blocks. So I'm just going to place the fairy over the top just like so. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my this one is our watercoloured ink pad. So this is our Finesse. So if you want to see that one, it is the Noir Black Waterproof Dye ink pad from Finesse. All part of Spectrum Noir. So what I'm just doing is I'm just giving that a good coverage, just stamping that one out, just making sure that I've got no ink over the edges. Then all that I'm just going to do is I'm going to position my stamp and then I'm just going to rock and roll. Now look at that, the crisp, clean design that you get when it comes to the fairy. Then what I'm then just going to do is carrying on, I'm just going to take a few of the other flower elements. So we're just going to take this one as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to repeat that, just popping the stamp in the middle, stamp that out, just covering that again, still using the Noir Black. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rock towards the bottom and we're going to stamp that out. Now before I go and reload up my stamp, I'm just going to go back over and I'm going to kind of do a second generation stamp. So as you can see on that side there, it just looks that wee bit less. It's kind of it's falling in within the back distance. So then what I'm just going to do is repeat that on this other side. So you're wanting to get your core stamping colour down first. So you want to get all that intense black there for you to go. Because it's watercolour card, then it means that your inks will go over the top just beautifully. So this time I'm going to add just a wee bit more ink and I'm just going to have it so it's just off the page and no more. And then what I'm also going to do is bringing in one of the stamps from the other set that also comes within the box. I'm going to take the distressed border. So this is just a nice distressed one right along the bottom just there. So as if we just take that one off and peel it all off just like so. Then what I'll just do is taking one of my larger rocker blocks that I've got just here. Again, you might have your stamping platform that you can use. I'm just going to pop this one on and just cover that with ink. Now the good thing about the border is you don't necessarily have to make sure that it's straight because it is a distressed border. Either way, you're still going to get that really nice effect. So once again, all that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to position that towards the bottom. Then when I'm happy, I'm going to rock. And then there we go. This starts to give us our design background layout before you start doing your sparkle inks. So if we remove all of that out the way for the time being, and then let's just give this bit just a bit of a wipe down from any of that ink. And then what we're going to do is with this technique, the only additional thing you will need is a wee paintbrush and some water. So then if I just bring my stamped image in, and this is because it's waterproof, it enables us to do this next technique. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my two colours. So with this one here, what I'm doing is using the aquamarine and I'm also using the moonlight. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to give them a shake, but I'm just going to swirl them around onto my glass mat. That's just going to activate and intense all that sparkle. So what I'm going to do first is if I go to the lightest, so let's go to the yellow, and then I'm just going to pick some of that colour up and I'm just going to pop this onto my glass cutting mat. You might have one of your non-stick mats that you could be using. So then what I'm just going to do is if I just move that one to the side first, so I'll just get rid of some of that excess off my brush. Then again, all that I'm just going to do is go to my darker shade now, and I'm just going to add just a wee bit of colour, maybe just a little bit, take some of that excess off, and I'm just going to mix that until I get to the colour that I want. the intensity that I want. So I've got a nice green colour within that one just there that you can see. So I'm just going to leave that one just to the side for the time being. So let's move that sparkle ink there, and then let's this one so we need to go. So if I then just take just a bit of kitchen roll and just clean that excess just for the time being. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the top of my stamped image, just like this. Now I've still got a bit of green on my paintbrush, which won't matter because we're going over the top with some more of that colour. So I'm just wanting to lay some of that colour down. So we're just going over the top, just like so. So then once I'm happy I've got enough colour and water over the top, we're just going to dry that off. So all that I'm just going to do now is I'm then just going to take some of the blue one, which is the aquamarine, and then I'm just going to pop some onto my brush, just like that. And I'm just going to start to layer this along the bottom. So we're going straight over to the water, and already with that part there, we can see it starts to blend in with the water on the background. So let's just clean that brush off. Then what I'm going to do is go back in, and I'm just going to pick up some of this moonlight, and then once again I'm just going to go over the top just like that. If needed, we can go back and add more colour. So just picking up some of that colour just like so. What I do is I'm going to go into the green, picking up some of that green, and I'm just going to go into the middle. And then what we can start to do is start to blend that in. So if I take some of that excess off my paintbrush, add some more water onto it instead, and then just start to do a blending motion in. So we're blending the blue into the green, and then what we can also do is then just blend the green into the yellow. So it all becomes one big continuous blended background. So if I bring that in for you to see, what I would then just do is just come along and just using my heat tool, I would then just start to blow that and dry that off just so you can see it like so. However, this is the one that I've done already. So what I'm then just going to do is moving that to the side, bringing my bit of kitchen roll over there and just cleaning that up. You would then, of course, use all this excess ink and use that elsewhere within your colouring, but we're just going to move that to the side just like so. So if we then just take our image, we're just going to use our bit of background paper that we've got that also comes within the subscription box. So just using one that I've got that's already dried. So I'm just going to use some of our tacky glue, and I'm just going to pop some onto the back, just like that. And popping that on just like that. So a nice small matting layer, just popping it on. So we're just going to lift it up and position that into place like so. And then once I'm happy, what I can do again is just using some more of the tacky glue. You could use your tape runner if you find that easier. I'm just going to then pop that onto the card blank. So popping that on just like so. Get rid of any of that excess glue. And there we go. We bring that in for you to see. There is your background going from 2 colours into 3, and then we can see on this one just here, what we've then done is just gone over it just with that sentiment as well beforehand, and then that creates that background using your stamps as well as your sparkle inks.